Guys, I'm teaming up with my good friend, retired Navy SEAL Jocko for something real special. Jocko started Jocko Fuel when he found out the supplements he was buying for himself and his family were filled with heavy metals and ingredients he was unaware of. He wanted a line of supplements and consumables that had all of the good, effective ingredients and none of the bad. So we made it happen. I got set up with all of the key products, and we want to do the same for you. Jocko Go energy drinks for clean, sustainable energy. Jocko Milk Protein for 30 grams of delicious grass-fed protein, plus a full line of supplements to support mood, focus, hydration, joints, and more. Jocko Fuel supplements are scientifically formulated and made with ingredients that are clinically tested. They are better for you options with no artificial flavors or sweeteners, no added sugar, and no gray area ingredients or banned substances. It's clean fuel with health compromise. And right now, you can get 20% off when you use code Chael at jockofuel.com. Or if it's easier, just click on the link below. I'm greatly influenced by others because I lack a confidence at times with telling you how a fight's gonna go. And there's some piece of psychology that I haven't identified. And you gotta understand from a gambling perspective, right? We're in Las Vegas, talk a little gaming with you. I play to lose. Like, when I sit down at the table, I'm either gonna win so much they name that building after me, or I'm going to give them all my money. There will be no in between. Now, I get a stronger feeling from the loss and frustration of losing than I do by winning. So I find myself often going with the underdog, but I will always use history as a rationale as to why I come to the conclusions I come to when I'm picking a fight. Great. Now, let's get right into the BMF. First off, I love the BMF. Back before Dana's days, they had something called a super fight. I loved it. In fact, to this day, the super fight belt is still the coolest looking belt, just from an artistic and hardware standpoint, that I've ever seen. I don't care what you put in front of title. I don't care if you put BMF in front of it. I don't care if you put interim in front of it. I don't care if you put featherweight in front of it, bantamweight in front of it, strawweight in front of it. If it ends in champion, it means something to me. And I think that it means something to the guys. Now, I say that because the best thing that we've got with Max and Justin, I mean, not only is that the people's main event, that's the fight you guys are most looking forward to. I'm most looking forward to it. Everybody seems to be most looking forward to it. Guess what? None of you asked for the fight. Neither did I, and neither did they. There is no heat anywhere between Max Hollway and Justin Gaethje. It's a very strange matchup, in all fairness. I have no idea how we got here. But I don't have to know. If you're putting a title up, it's seemingly all that matters. And I have seen guys that don't share in my enthusiasm for titles. Do you guys remember Shane Carwin? I could not like Shane Carwin anymore. This is meant to be a shout out to Shane and his beautiful wife. But Shane won the interim title. Brock Lesnar was the undisputed champion. Brock Lesnar jumped in the ring and told Shane, "Your belt doesn't count." Shane took it off and said, "I agree with you," and threw it down. And his point was, let's fight for yours. I'm coming for yours. And I got it, but I didn't want Shane to feel that way. I didn't want Shane to be locked into that. I wanted Shane to go the rest of his life knowing that that lifelong dream and achievement had come true. And that belt did matter. Maybe that's just the way I felt about it. And I use Shane Carwin in that example for you because I've seen Justin Gaethje, and so have you guys, talking about Islam, talking about number one contendership. And he was doing that, including the night that they strapped and wrapped the BMF around him. That made for the second title that Justin Gaethje's held. It makes for the first person in the UFC to hold two titles within the UFC. And I'm not talking about different weight classes. Don't tell me about champ stuff. Held an interim championship. He held a BMF championship. And I realize only one other guy ever had that BMF belt. I realize, but that's a real beauty of breaking records when you're first. That one can never be redone. All records are made to be broken. The whole reason we give out a championship in the first place is so somebody else can come along and take it. But when you're the first to do something, it really is an incredible record. It's just simply something that you'll never relinquish. It's a title that can't be undone. And I bring it to you because Justin Gaethje didn't seem interested that night. He never once was grateful for that title. He never once held that title up, talked about defending it, talked about the hard work, thanked his coaches, thanked the fans, thanked the promotion. He instantly talked about, I'm the number one contender. This draws me right into Islam. And going to the fight with Max, that's all he's talking about. I'm going to take a break. I'm not going to fight him in June. I'm going to fight him MSG in November, talking about Islam. And I appreciate those things. Like, I appreciate somebody that is so driven. I just would like Justin Gaethje to be proud of himself. I would like Justin Gaethje to feel good about what he's done. Now, you can never rest on your laurels. I understand there's some problems with what I'm saying. But to be a champion, and the mere fact that he's defending it, it's a very big deal for us. For those of you that join me in celebrating and valuing that title. It's the first ever time it's being defended. George Masvidal did not understand how to navigate that. George Masvidal, to this second in time right now, does not understand why it wasn't defended. And I only bring that to you because, right, there's politics, there's stuff involved with everything. And you must have an absolute understanding of the rules and procedures if you plan to manipulate them. And George didn't. George didn't understand what the resistance was or why they had come to the conclusion to not defend it, and therefore he could not begin to mount his offense. And the other side of it, right, like just in case you think this is my chance to give George a hard time. You never defend it, you can never lose it. So there's a part where George might feel that he outsmarted the system. And when you do look at Max and Justin, even though it's a fight for nothing, and even though it's a fight that nobody asked for, it has still become the feature match of the biggest night on the best card in combat history. So there's something very special on it. And from the time this fight was rumored to the time it was announced to right now, right this second, hours before bell time, Justin Gaethje has been a favorite almost 2-1. I have not met a fighter yet. Now, I'll tell you in all fairness, about a dozen athletes. 8, 9, 10, 11, somewhere in there. But I haven't met one yet that I've personally spoken to, off the record and privately, that hasn't picked Max. All the fighters have taken Max, even though you, the audience, from Jump Street, have taken Gaethje. I don't really know what that means. By the way, I'm just sharing with you. That's just something interesting, at least for me. And I did ask those fighters, one after the next, why do you have it that way? And many of them just believe that the blueprint to beat Justin Gaethje is to be tough enough to withstand the storm, and halfway through the fight, so in this case 2.5 rounds in, have the cardio to start taking over. Those are skills that Max has. Now, I'm going to go with Holloway, but I must admit I'm not bullish on it, and neither were the dozen or fewer fighters that I spoke about it. They did unanimously take Holloway, but nobody was bullish. People understood this is a hard fight. You want my prediction? First off, the good news. The BMF now will have a lineage. The better news, if you're a Holloway fan, it's going to be a blessed night.